We're having a great time.
Woohoo! Internet problems.
All right, so Ashley Campbell, welcome.
Hi.
Hey,
Hello.
thanks so much for joining us, or me.
Oh, yeah, it's no problem. I'm going to get in a chair.
Yeah, get comfy. Get comfy, love.
Am I in the sun? It's too much. It's too much.
Too much. It's too much. My eyes.
Let's see.
How's Florida? We know you're in Florida.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. The water is like bath water, but refreshing still. And the sand is powdered sugar. And I'm just so excited to be by the beach.
You sound like you're quoting lyrics from a Zac Brown, Toes in the Sand.
Hey, the boat in an ocean, in the water like bath water.
See, there you go. She's on it. She's on it. So I should really introduce you. Ashley Campbell, one of my very dear, dear friends from Nashville. Can we say that you're from Nashville, Tennessee? I don't think we can because you're not. You
Not
weren't
originally. I lived there.
Yeah, but not born and bred, you know.
No. Born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona.
Via Arizona, California, Malibu, Tennessee.
Yep.
Yes. Ashley is one of the most talented musicians in country music today. Incredible. Honestly, when I think about country music artists that are out now, that are authentic, that are songwriters, that are true to their craft in terms of, being an actual musician, you have all the talent in the world that I would aspire to have. You know that I'm terrible on guitar. I couldn't get a banjo to play to save my life, and you just are a duck to water. It's like it's oozing out of your DNA. And what was it last week? Was it last week that you released the cover of Good Vibrations?
Yeah, I did. I did a cover of Good Vibrations. Originally it was for my next album, but we decided it would kind of just be its own single release and not on the album.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was really fun to do. I wanted to put banjo on Good Vibrations, and we had a lot of fun working it up. My brother Cal played drums on it. Shannon, my brother, played some electric guitar, and it was awesome.
It's a family affair.
Yeah.
You've all bunkered down at your mum's place, or you did for a little while?
For a little while, yeah. My brother's there with his girlfriend, and we have Jimmy Webb's son Cornelius is living there too, so it's like a big,
as you do,
big family. So I went over there and stayed for a couple weeks and cooked for the family and just enjoyed spending time with them.
Yes, for anyone who doesn't know, you should really follow on Instagram. Is it Banjo Chef?
The Banjo Chef.
The Banjo Chef. Honestly, you also, apart from your musical capabilities, you really do inspire me in terms of kitchen. It's amazing. Really amazing.
Oh, man. Yeah, we had a great time last night. My friend who I'm staying with here in Florida, he is an amazing home cook as well. So, he went out, they go fishing here a lot. So they had caught some fresh red snapper, and he just got a little deep fryer. So we made fried red snapper, hush puppies, and fresh corn from the farmer's market. It was out of this world. The ingredients were so fresh.
And I hope it was paired with some lovely grape juice.
Yes.
Grape juice.
There was adult grape juice involved for sure.
Our favorite. I should say that you and I actually met through Jane Seymour, funnily enough.
Yeah.
Because I was God bless Jane, because I was coming to Nash to sort of set up the foundation blocks of my first two singles. And Jane was already a friend, and she was like, you need to meet the Campbell family. And I had no idea, obviously, who you guys were. And then she was like, no, they're really big in country music, and not knowing how big you guys were in country music. And I met your mum first and really still didn't have any idea. And it was CMA Fest. And I remember I caught up with her because you were playing, which was incredible. And suddenly someone said, oh, you were Glen Campbell's wife. and people were just in awe. And then of course I was like, oh, okay, hello, that family. That okay. So tell me, what was it like for you growing up with such music in the household? And I guess you probably didn't know any different in terms of being on the road and just having music in your blood, really.
I mean, yeah, it was just always kind of a part of our lives, so it just
Yeah.
it didn't seem extraordinary from the inside, you know. But
Yeah.
now looking back, I'm like, wow, that you
Yeah.
know, growing up with my dad being who he is was really special, of course.
Mhm.
You know, I have so many fond memories of being at home, not only because my dad was really, you know, he really cared about family time, but also really great memories of, you know, being backstage at his shows and watching him perform and
Yeah.
seeing people's faces in awe of his amazingness. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think, you got it from both parents, because Kim's amazing in her own right. She's terrific. What a special lady. And I think, you got that perfect mix. But in terms of being a musician, you can be the offspring or the child of someone so iconic like your dad and not have the talent necessarily to back it up. But you are just streets, ahead of everyone. A lot of people in Nash, actually. I think it's interesting because, as you know, female country music artists don't necessarily get the same coverage as the guys.
Yeah.
It's been a hot topic. We all know about it. What are your thoughts on that? Because your music, doesn't tend to get airplay on radio. Like, I think there's like 2 or 3 major female artists that get airplay and like no one else.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, one of the happiest days of my career was when I decided I don't care
Yeah.
anymore about getting on the radio. And that freed me up to just be creative and really
Yeah. Flourish.
really be truthful and really be vulnerable and only do things that I like, you know, because that's the whole point of it. You know, being an artist, you're crafting your own taste for other people to enjoy, perhaps.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just do what I love, and I'm gonna put it out, and whoever wants to listen to it's gonna listen to it, and
Oh, I think a
I'm
lot of
excited
people
about
will be listening to that. That goes without saying. And tell me, in your career thus far, I know that you signed to a major label in Nashville, and then you decided that wasn't for you for creative reasons. So how did that kind of mold who you've become as an artist from then to now? And it's pretty strong to leave a major label, to have that within you, to be able to go, you know what, that's not for me.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to ask yourself the question, do I want enormous financial support to do music that I don't really care for? Or do I, or would I rather be, doing anything else? And the answer is, yeah, I would rather. You have to, it really prompted the question, why am I doing this? And it wasn't to be on a major label. It wasn't to be told what my art is, Yeah. It was to create and to be free and to be exactly who I am and not have anyone.
Like,
yeah,
literal terms of being an artist.
Yeah. To not have people going, this is your image. It's like, no, this is my image. Look at me. I'm wearing a trucker hat in Florida. I'm so Florida right now.
You know that I love this. We, you guys say redneck, we say bogan. It's much less than I am a bogan deep down. I really am.
Yeah.
And in terms of your debut album, was that The Lonely One? That was your debut album?
Yes.
Yes. The songs on that album are so phenomenal. One in particular, Better Boyfriend, which
everyone seems to like that one.
I remember the first time I heard it was at CMA Fest when you were playing it in Nashville. And I was in hysterics at some of the lyrics. Like, not only is it a beautifully crafted song and catchy and terrific, but the tongue-in-cheek was just brilliant. When did you write that? And was there, I don't know if I've asked you this before, was there truth to this song? Did you write it about someone, or it was just an idea?
I honestly can't remember when I wrote it. It must have been 2015 or something, 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but
it was a while ago.
It's not about any one person, but it's kind of a compilation of the frustrations of internet dating. That's where I got the ideas, because I was trying to just get out there and meet people whenever I was not touring. And most of the time when I would go on a date, like for a drink or a coffee, you know, within 5 minutes, you kind of know if you like the person. And most of the time I found myself just going, man, I'd rather be sitting here by myself, you know?
Yeah.
Like I would be a better boyfriend. I'm better company than this person, at least for me, like as a match. And I started thinking of some things that some exes have done and whatnot, and just kind of combine that into, you know, bad internet dates and also bad behavior.
Well, it made for a terrific song that every time it still like pops up on my playlist when I'm driving through the desert. You know, I always send you like clips of like, hey, here's a camel and your song and, you know, some sand. I love it. Honestly, it's one of my favorite songs. I love it so much. And so
it's also kind of a love song. It's also kind of a love song to just, you know, being okay with yourself, you know?
For sure. Absolutely.
Like the first couple lines, or like the second line in particular, you know, I can live without a TV. I'm never gonna leave me.
I wasn't drunk. I got my tattoo.
I wasn't drunk when I got my tattoo, but it kind of reminds me of this quote where it's like the most important relationship in your life is the one that you have with yourself.
Absolutely. And I think that is true of being in a relationship or being single, either or. One, have to look after yourself, because, you know, you'd be a terrible partner.
Yeah, when you make it someone else's job to you know, to love you when you don't, it's not going to work.
Never. So that it's definitely, I guess it is an ode to oneself, almost, that song also.
Yeah.
I loved that whole album. That whole album was creatively was genius, I think.
Thank you.
It kills me that it didn't, you know, get the airplay, because you think of artists that just don't get airplay, and no one, you know, unless you have already an affiliation with that artist, or you hear it on streaming networks, or you know, it's a social media thing, then radio, you know, I guess. But by the same context of that, do you feel like radio is going to become almost, you know, not extinct, but everyone, I don't tend to listen to the radio myself. I put on a Spotify playlist, I put on my own playlist. So technically,
I don't know,
listening to the radio, it's not dictating what I listen to.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really gotten it. Like, in this day and age, why radio is still so important. I don't get it. Because I would rather put on, you know, a playlist, you know. I trust an algorithm more than I trust a program director at a radio station, because there's so many politics involved, you know. Like, I'd rather a computer tell me based on science what I want to listen to.
Yeah.
You know, when you put it on shuffle, like, you know,
I'm putting on a shuffle.
Roger Miller radio, Father John Misty radio, whatever. Spotify's pretty good with that.
Who are your major influences musically?
Oh my goodness. It's a pretty wide span, but like, starting from country, I've definitely my dad, and Dolly Parton. I like the old school.
What's your favorite song that your dad from you?
That's a tough question too.
You can give me a few.
I love the deep cuts. So, like, you know, True Grit. Wichita Lineman's not a deep cut, but you have to say it because it's a masterpiece of a song.
Exactly.
I love True Grit. I love Gentle on My Mind. My favorite album, I'll say my favorite album of my dad's, it's called Reunion. It's an album of my dad doing all Jimmy Webb songs.
Wow.
And like Ocean in His Eyes is one of my favorite songs of his. And that's on that album. But yeah, for influences, I like, Roger Miller is a huge influence, and he was a buddy of my dad's. And so I grew up hearing my dad talking about him. And then,
Yeah.
as I got older, I started getting into his music. And I used to do comedy in LA. I did improv comedy and sketch writing. And I like to channel my sketch writing into sometimes my songwriting, which is why some of my songs are kind of funny. But Roger Miller, I'm really drawn to him because his songs are freaking hilarious too. Like his lyrics are so clever, and he's got there's like a whimsy to them, but there's also a deep sadness to some of them, like
So
behind the facade.
Yeah.
So I love that, the depth,
Yeah.
in a seemingly shallow, funny song, there is a lot of heartache and depth, and I love that.
That's what comedy is, right? I mean, you often hear when someone goes, "Oh, I'm just joking," or "I'm just being funny." Well, there's always an element of truth to that, or there's something behind it. Comedy often masks a lot of, deeper feelings. So that makes sense in itself.
Yeah.
So they're the major influences. And how about going forward creatively? What do you want to achieve?
Going forward, I have a new record coming out, and it's pretty much an exact representation of where I want the direction that I'm heading as an artist and who I am. So, and I feel like the first 2 singles that I've released from that, which are called Digging Deep and Forever's Not That Long, are very good representations of the what's the word? The variety of taste on the album, but it all kind of goes together. So that's me, like
eclectic.
I have a broad, it's eclectic. Yeah. But it also, it sounds like it belongs together.
Yeah.
There's a helicopter.
Oh.
It found me.
It wasn't me, babe. It wasn't me.
You told them where I was, didn't you? I knew you would.
Can't help myself.
I knew I couldn't trust anyone in this world but myself.
I know. That's what they say. That's what they say. That's what they tell us. So how long are you going to be in Florida for, and you're heading back to Nash?
We are here till about Monday. Just going to spend three solid days on the beach.
Perfect. Right.
I did almost forget that Florida has a lot of bugs, though.
Yeah, it's like Australia.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't know if it's as bad as Australia.
I think everyone exaggerates as to what Australia is like. I don't think it's as bad.
I was told to assume everything will kill you.
Yeah. Maybe. We're pretty tough down under. You
guys are really tough. I'm impressed. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of bugs here. Well, I've been eating up too much, though.
I may actually leave you to your bugs.
Okay. I'm going to go jump in the ocean. They can't get me there.
Yeah, they cannot get you there. Although there are no sharks.
Although there are big toothy bugs with fins in the ocean.
Are there many sharks in Florida?
Oh, there's tons of sharks, but I mean, there's
a smaller variety.
There's a ton of them. I mean, Florida's got a lot of bull sharks. Those are mean. Those are nasty. But also, I will say, sharks are not that bad. Like, everyone thinks, oh, I'm going in the ocean, I'm so afraid of sharks. I know we're getting off topic, but
no, I've been in the ocean with sharks many times.
Yeah, even if there was a shark, the likelihood of it biting you is very slim.
Yeah, you're more likely.
It does happen though. Don't swim near river mouths. Just don't do it. I know you love to, but don't. I know that's your favorite thing.
It really is.
Swimming in murky water near river mouths.
Well, damn, what am I going to do with my time?
Hanging out with a school of bait fish. I know you love that, but don't. It's not safe.
I know. I'll take your advice and be good with it. It's so nice to see you. I'm really hoping, when our borders all open up, that we can jump back in. I've always wanted to do a collaboration with you. We talked about getting into Blackbird Studios together. So hopefully that can eventuate.
Oh, well, thanks for having me. Let's chat again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Love you long time.
Love you too. Bye.